I think every American over the age of 12 must be conscious of the word narcotics. I think it's a scare word, as it should be. We know what heroin, morphine, and cocaine can do to the human body and the human personality. People who are hooked on these drugs are seldom hooked in the dark. But there's a strong possibility that at this moment in your medicine cabinet you have a drug that can hook you just as completely, injure you just as terribly as heroin or morphine. I'm speaking of barbiturates, sleeping pills. Tonight I'm going to tell you the story of the thousands of Americans who suffer the agonies of barbiturate addiction. The tragedy of these people is that their plight is a terrible accident. They started out taking legitimate doses of legitimate medicine. Suddenly there was a monkey on their backs. Every person who lives is subject to stresses and pressures from outside. For some of us, at some times, the pressures seem almost too much to bear. You take pills to knock you out, you drink coffee to pull yourself together, and after a while, neither one really works. You can't go to sleep and you can't wake up. You don't have that feeling of sweet relaxation anymore. You know now that the pills are killing you, but you don't know how to stop. Tell me, Dr. Thenis, what are barbiturates?
Barbiturates are synthetic materials.
What's been their principal use?
To cause sleep and to relieve nervousness.
Are they addictive?
Yes, they are addicting drugs.
How do barbiturates differ from narcotics in their effect?
They have practically no stimulating action, whereas morphine, heroin, and the opium derivatives usually stimulate as well as depress.
In the lifespan of man, youth has traditionally been the moment for experimentation, adventure, self-analysis, and rebellion. Rebellion against parental authority and social restrictions. Since the beginning of time, however, growing older has taken care of all that. But the swift advances of modern technology have changed the pattern. An overdose of bennies can wash out every inhibition, and a couple of goofballs can transport you to a limbo world where nothing matters, not even you.
If barbiturates are so dangerous, why are they so readily obtainable, Doctor?
Well, legally, they are not so readily obtainable. It requires a physician's prescription. A recent federal law now requires a prescription throughout the United States.
But isn't it easy for addicts to circumvent the law?
I don't really know the answer to that.
Traffic in these drugs in this country is a very major problem today. There are about 10 billion of these pills manufactured each year for legal use. About half of these, or 5 billion, find their ways into illegal channels and are ultimately misused.
May I have your name, please? Just your first name.
Margaret,
And your age?
42.
Your occupation?
I'm a housewife.
You have any children?
I have 3 sons.
Margaret, how did you start taking barbiturates?
I was an alcoholic, and I had been off drink for about 90 days, and I was going through a particularly nervous period, and a well-meaning friend of mine gave me 2 little yellow capsules, and she told me they would relax me if I took them.
How did these pills make you feel, Margaret?
They made me feel high, and I was floating, and all my troubles and my problems seemed remote, and I seemed unattached.
What problems did barbiturates cause in your personal life?
Well, my whole life became distorted. Everything revolved around getting these pills and protecting my habit. My friends would ask me why I was acting strangely, and I was defiant and would insult them and tell them I wasn't taking a thing, and it was obvious that I wasn't myself, and I just became a pathological liar. When I was a guest in people's homes, the first thing I would do is excuse myself and go to the bathroom, and I would raid their medicine chests. I'd take everything that looked like it might have barbiturate in it.
How many pills did you take in, let's say, a week?
I'd take at least 100 or 150 a week. The binges became closer and closer together till they almost merged into one big binge, and I became terribly frightened.
What happened when you tried to break the habit?
I would start perspiring from every pore of my body. My leg muscles would cramp, and I'd be very, very sick at my stomach, and I'd be terrified. I don't know what I'd be afraid of, but I'd hear strange noises and shadows, and even the movement of a window shade would throw me into a complete state of terror. And when you're lying there so frightened, and you know there isn't a pill in the house to relieve your agony, and you know you can't get out to get any, the panic you feel, it's indescribable. It's awful.
Taken in excess have a serious potential for harm. But the abuse of barbiturates, sedatives, and sleeping pills can be far more dangerous. For barbiturates today are the #1 cause of death by poisoning in the United States. There are the facts. There is only one way to interpret them. Take these drugs only on doctor's orders and handle them with respect. Avoid the good-bad drug dilemma. This is Paul Newman at Universal Studios in Universal City, California. Thank you.